The Bros, because of your Brotax, had side selection moving into this game.
It pays off again.
It had nothing to do with the fact that they didn't have side selection the first round, Robin. As the Pantheon is going to be their elected ban, the Vi is going to be taken away as well, as we are banning junglers.
Yeah, we've seen Canyon lean towards the tank junglers a good amount, and it might end up being a similar situation here with Pantheon, Xin Zhao, and Vi taken off the table, setting up a lot of priority towards maybe like Wukong being left open and available still. We've seen Croco definitely being more of a carry jungler. Skarner being taken away as well. So for me, standouts right now, Wukong, Sejuani, Poppy, in terms of the jungle pool.
But
and we'll
the
see.
Talia and Azir are both up and available as well.
Yep, as well as all the top laners we often see banned.
Yeah, I'd like to see a Talia ban. I think that is standing out the most for me.
I don't know, because...
All right, Wukong.
So they do go for that Wukong, deny that. The thing is, if they could end up first picking this Talia, but I think Chovy's okay picking something else into it, and then you get first choice of top laners.
What is Morgan do? The Rumble makes a lot of sense. I think as far as our top laners that are happy to play into Rumble, Keen is among them. His champion pool is pretty large. But this does make a whole lot of sense as far as the first pick is concerned. Good utilization of the blue side here for the Bros to start it off. As Gen.G, what is going to be the response? Because this can really warp things. That is a Nidalee being considered.
Scary to deal with, especially with so many junglers taken out of the pool already. This could be jungle, it could also be top lane, in theory, into the Rumble. Keeping the options open. We'll see what comes in as the second pick.
All right. It could be Nidalee Kennen, and then we've locked in 2 Damwon skins. And then Twisted Fate for Chovy, and then Jin Leona to round it out.
It could also not be... it could also just not be that, you know?
That'd be fun, though. Imagine that. Just taking the full Damwon Gaming skin line. As the Keen Sante again.
I don't think this is good.
No, it's not.
Picking that into the Rumble's a little risky. Now,
I didn't know that we were going to utilize the Brotax in order to play interference on the other side.
Yeah, 21.4% win percentage you're feeling good about. Now, the Nidalee...
And it's Sejuani, obviously.
Sejuani, this is a really strong top side. Now, Sejuani and the Nidalee can be a little bit rough, but I think you're feeling good. This is a strong top side.
Oh, yeah.
Bose is happy with this. I think you're feeling good.
Oh, yeah, obviously set is the way. That's what you're going to do here. So you've just got the Burly Boys and Nidalee as your top side of the map. Unless Duro wants to be playing set support, it is still theoretically a flex. The K'Sante could be going mid, Nidalee could be going top, and Set could be going support. There are a lot of different ways that this could be going. As Chovy is going to be playing Set, guys. That's how it's going to go. He does really like Set mid.
The thing is, like, you could understand how both lanes have a lot of setup for the Nidalee, and how Set into the Yone, you know, could be a little bit difficult if he's getting up in your face. But when you get to team fights, these 3 picks on the side of Bro, it is very uncomfortable playing melee champions into them.
Oh, yeah.
You get stun locked, you get melted, you get shredded. I think Bro are feeling good right now, and the Bro tax is working. Keep it up, guys.
Keep it up.
Cannot slow down now.
I can. Oh, yep. I'm seeing a bit of purple. It has shrunk away just a little bit, so maybe a pick is going to sneak through the draft. As the Alistair is going to be taken away from Duro. That makes a lot of sense.
It's important.
Yep, Rakan going to be removed. The Poppy's still up and available, and the crazy thing is that Talia just hasn't been looked at all, and will not for the rest of this series. Or, sorry, for the rest of this game. It hasn't been Fearless banned just because it wasn't looked at. That's not how that one works. The Braum going to be taken away from Polo.
We've seen a lot of this, like, Rakan Braum on red side, and then it's like Alistair Senna on blue side. I wonder if we see it again. In this situation, I feel like especially with this composition, like you have this short range front line.
Yeah, I think I like the center ban.
The longer range center really has a lot of power. It almost feels like we had this last series, this second rotation sort of ban situation.
If this is a Jin, I'm ready to just not play out the game. I'm ready to just give it to the Bros.
Pick up here, keeping the options open later. There are a lot of 80 carries open and available. You know, you have so many options though for the side up, Bro. You could lean into something like, I mean, it's risky if you go something like the Kai'Sa, but it syncs well with the composition. Looking at potentially that Poppy, a lot of power at dealing with the Rel, so maybe one of the downsides of picking that Rel there. Yeah, Poppy Jin works pretty strong in this situation.
Oh my god.
Hard really to match in terms of the lane as well. Could also go for that Varus.
All right, Varus going to be the consideration instead. Both of them very similar. Although I guess Jin does have a bit more range in that large curtain cone that he's got.
I think the Ezreal pick makes sense, given what you're playing into. A bit of a safer pick.
All right.
I honestly, you know what? Nameplate's off.
I mean, nameplate's off. We're not even playing this game. We're just going to go to game 2.
Yeah.
Nameplate's on. We might have a game of League of Legends.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And this is the most Gen.G thing to do. As far as the top side of the map, the Keen Sante, Chovy, like, choose me a random handsome melee champion in the mid lane. I want to play that. And they are just going to lock that one in. This game is all about, can Canyon get 13 kills in the first 8 minutes of the game?
Yep, it is literally that. It's all about Canyon in this game, how heavily he can snowball. You know, we have POM now, not POG, but this is what I would have called a POG or bust game.
Oh yeah.
For Canyon.
I mean, it's almost a POM or bust. Like, if they win with this draft, Canyon, even if he just hard feeds in the next game, he still deserves POM for being able to win this, because this is all about him on this Nidalee. I want to know something, okay? If it was, instead of this, just the Dumb One Gaming 2020 skins draft, which would have been better?
Don't make me answer that question.
Oh no! The Gen.G meme was worse than mine! Oh, it's a disaster! But they still might win, ladies and gentlemen. They're currently 17-0. Let's get onto the Rift. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 1. This game we have dubbed Canyon versus Bro. It's basically how it is looking at this point in time, unless there's a crazy snowball. Like this, I want to remind everyone that in pro play, draft is extraordinarily important because there is just a skill level that is pretty similar, you know, even between. You know, the lowest team in the LCK and the highest team in the LCK, draft matters. And sometimes we see in solo queue that you look at a draft and you're like, man, we outrange all over the place. Our engage is amazing. This composition from the enemy team sucks. But it doesn't matter because all of your lanes lose and you just lose the game. Or you just have to flash really early because you face check a brush at level 1. Like, these things can happen and you can just lose.
Yeah, and this is the sort of early advantage you really want with this composition. Shaking things up, going for that level 1. They forced Polu out from the cover, and this was kind of the mistake that came through from Bro, because they knew Gen.G were playing aggressive around the bot side because Polu got forced away by Duro. And yet Croco still opted to face check. And now we're going to get a bit of a map split situation. We'll see what Canyon can do with this, how much he can deny.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Duro's just flashing onto hype. He may just die as a result, and in fact he does. So, okay. The power of Brotax is absurd, ladies and gentlemen.
Right before our eyes. Right before our eyes.
It's just, isn't it great? You know, like, you like donate money to charity and then they send an email back and they're like, we just saved a child's sight because of your money.
100%. People thought I was exaggerating when I said about the funds being matched for the Brotax.
I think they might be being tripled. I think we may have missed something.
I might have undersold it, you know?
My goodness.
That was certainly a play of all time.
It was a play of
And the thing
today.
is, look, I want to say something. I want to make something really clear. Because as we watch this play happen...
Do we have to?
Look, some of you are watching this and you're thinking, guys, Gen.G are locked into their position. Gen.G are locked into the top spot in terms of Road to MSI, in terms of their spot in Legend Group.
Yep.
And you might be thinking, okay, maybe they're not taking this game so seriously. Gen.G have said they care about these records. Chovy has said he cares about these records. They care. They want to go 18-0. They are serious about this, you know? This is a team who holds a lot of the records in the LCK for like longest undefeated game streak? It's Gen.G.
Yeah.
They're smashing their
I mean,
own
right now, yeah, they're beating their own records. That's what they're trying to do.
That's what they often do. So some of the teams are like, okay, yeah, maybe HLE are goofing out a little bit. Gen.G are not a team who often goof about. They're locked in.
Yep.
And so this is why it's very. This is why this is obviously Brotax at work.
Yeah, that I was waiting for you to bring it back to the relevant point, which is the fact that Brotax is a powerful thing to utilize. And I really appreciate that you guys have been making this chat up.
The mind control division that they've invested in.
I just really didn't know that it was like counter-espionage, you know?
Yeah, it's so powerful.
It's incredible work here to be done by the bros. Your Brotax really does allow them to do so much. That Canyon is back in the enemy jungle again.
That little maneuver, that Duro death, that cost 7 million channel points.
Yeah, that was a lot of channel points. But remember, they've been donated at massive amounts throughout the year.
Yep. Saving up for this moment.
Yeah, I mean, all in for Bro is something that many teams have done, despite whether or not we actually thought they were going to win. And now it's all paying off here for this moment. This blue shell attack we've been waiting for. KT, they got relatively close. Not close enough. That's all right. Duro not going to throw his life away again here on this bottom side. And you can see Ruler is actually doing just fine in this lane, despite the fact that he did lose his metal legs horse person.
He's actually have a bit of a farm lead.
Yeah.
Some heavy damage coming on Duro. Not a fun matchup to play at this point, playing the Rel into the Poppy.
Arcing shifting forward.
Yeah, he knew the cooldowns weren't available. He's doing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
The effects of the Brotax not doing much to shut down Ruler yet.
Okay, Chovy's hit level 6. Suplex available for the set.
But overall, you know...
Oh my god. Ruler wants to just kill them, I guess.
He is hitting a lot of abilities.
He is. That last Mystic shot.
This is generally seen as a good thing on Ezreal.
All right, we need more Brotax. More Brotax for the bottom lane is going to need to be invested. Obviously, there is not quite enough going on down there because despite the early death, things are still looking okay here for Ruler. As Polo getting lower and lower. Biding his time, perhaps. Looking for a heroic charge angle.
Yeah, unfortunately, the last batch of Brotax, Croco spent it all on Ruby Crystals, so we need a bit more.
All right, Ruler not going to be found here by Polo as Canyon's moving over. Spear is not going to connect. They are just going to focus on the Dragon. Inside track picked up by Chovy. He'll be able to move his way over. And remember, Showstopper is at the ready. So he could pull anyone out of this pit if he would like to. Croco going to try and make this a 50-50 as best he can. The Hail of Arrows value is going to come on through there as it is Croco that locks it up. The Haymaker, though, keeps Chovy alive. And Closer just burns down to Duro. Gen.G will even out the kills, but the Drake goes over to Bro.
I think you're okay with that. If you're Bro, you know, at the end of the day, you get the Dragon. It's denied away, slows the pace of the game down, taking that away from an Italy. And yes, you end up losing Closer, but the kill goes over to Duro.
Yeah. The death on Duro, the kill on Duro, 100% everything participation for the Gen.G support. Picking up a Phage to start this one off, and that Haymaker was just massive. And I think it's kind of misleading, right? The sets that we've seen here in the LCK has been support. It's been Life playing it. Of course, it's sort of his signature pick here in the LCK. When you actually manage to get in there and fight, and you've got like your Pit Grit charged up, it is like it's a big shield. Look at this. It's massive.
It's also a ton of damage.
Yeah.
The flash is so powerful as well, being able to redirect it. You know, especially if there's a lot of mobile characters in the enemy team, it can be quite hard to land the Haymaker, but if you flash to redirect...
It is one of those spells that's still redirectable.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. Like, Galio got cancelled, you know, like you're not allowed to use the taunt then flash anymore. I feel like the Haymaker flash is one that survived that.
Yeah, but I'm not going to lie. I was speaking about this the other day.
Oh, yeah.
How much of an abomination that actually was.
Oh, yeah. No. It was broken.
You just used to channel the taunt in lane at level 1.
Oh, in the brush.
Yeah, they had to flash.
Yeah.
Or the die.
Yeah.
It was so funny. Not for them, for me.
It wasn't.
Playing it.
Yeah. So you just sit in a brush or you sit in the middle of the lane and you channel and they have to get the heck out and you don't even have to flash. So you just do it again. All right, Chovy going to clear out a ward. True Shot Barrage only hitting onto Croco here, and Chovy going down incredibly low. Another haymaker to try and save his life as he doesn't have flash. He's just going to burn down. He is dead. As Keen, he has to flash away. The permafrost is still going to connect, and there is Closer landing the ulti. The all out here from Keen as the Keen Sante is trying to stay alive, and now he's doing more than that. He wants to kill Polu. He wants to kill them all, but in fact, he just dies.
Good moves from Bro, finding the fight, finding the team fight there, able to connect on the right targets, and ultimately should be able to move towards these grubs. Canyon's still in the area. Maybe could sneak back in to pick up a grub himself, so Croco, no health, will just take one and back off, but 2 more kills coming in. Bro, happy to take those.
Oh, 100%. They have a gold lead now as well, as Chovy caught napping there a little bit, went over, killed this ward, and it looked like Gen.G had control of the pit. And they had Keen moving over, right? He wanted to be able to push Closer away. Just wasn't enough. The equalizer positioning also fantastic to deny any re-engage. Morgan, the Lord himself. Oh, man.
That ult was so good as well from Closer to follow. And the thing is, you know, it seems counterintuitive to focus everything onto the set, who obviously has that shield, who's really bulky. But you stop Chovy from able to use those tools offensively. He's playing in a defensive way. He pops the shield, doesn't really get to do much with it, and doesn't get to use the ultimate in any meaningful way, so...
All right.
Great play.
Last time it was Faker that played this, actually. 856 days ago. That is kind of nutty. Back in 2023. This was a pick that was a bit popular with a fair few of our LCK mid laners. It's the good old set mid. I feel like it was a bit earlier than 2023. Like 2020, 2019. It's times where good old set was very powerful. Chovy still farming quite well, though. You can see, in fact, farm across the board is pretty even between these two teams. It's just those extra kills that the Bros have been able to pick up. It's going to make them feel better about it. As Haymaker just to clear the wave here from Chovy, by the looks.
But I think if the game continues in this fashion, Bro, I'm feeling really good about it.
No, Gen.G need to be very worried about the game state.
I mean, especially Canyon doesn't really have... I mean, he has a farm lead, but in terms of gold, 33?
No, it doesn't mean anything. In fact, it means bad for Gen.G.
8 now ahead in gold? He's down in gold?
Yeah, that's, this is not how it's supposed to go. Still, it is Gen.G. So we say all this with a fair bit of jest, you know? Because Gen.G do have a just win kind of thing that they do.
I mean, that's the thing. A lot has been invested already into this game, you know?
Yeah.
We need continued funds flowing in to keep this going.
And Ruler is going to demonstrate that. True Shot Barrage is going to pop the W there as well. He even weaves the Mystic Shot towards Polu. Still, Hype is alive, does have Flash and Cleanse both available as Canyon's moving in, finds a spear on top of Croco. More importantly, finds Croco. Demonstrates that this is going to be a 3v3. W is going to miss there from Ruler. Still with Primal Surge, Ruler's able to stick around here for quite some time. And I think if this game isn't going to be won by Canyon, then maybe it is just going to be won by Ruler. Maybe that's how it has to go.
Yeah, it's seeming like a rely on Ruler instead sort of angle. See if he can measure up.
Well, there's the face breaker as Closer is going to lock down Chovy for quite some time. Still, I
feel like Closer wants that Demolish proc so badly.
Yep.
But just is so concerned about stepping up to the tower when Chovy's there. And finishing it off.
Oh, the plate just goes to no one. A little bit sad. Rookern is completed here for Keen, so the lane is going to feel a little better for this Cassante.
The thing is, you know, that item is so good into the Rumble in terms of like the isolated lane, but into Bro's composition in general, it doesn't feel very good.
Yeah,
a lot of AD damage.
Doing much of anything, yeah.
Yeah. Like even like Sejuani and Poppy, like, you know, they're not doing that much damage, but as far as tanks go, a lot of AD damage on them.
True.
So yeah, do you see the Stride Breaker coming in from Chovy?
Yep, starting to get a bit of this money together, but as is Hype, Ghostblade is now completed. You can see Ruler is struggling to take these piercing arrows as well as he used to. Spear connects onto Polu. Too much else going to come of it as Hype pretty laser focused. As far as this accuracy is concerned. And Chemtech Dragon. No Chemtech Souls all day, by the way. Just want to say shout out to you, Ox.
Do my best.
Really is paying attention here today. It's good to see. Chovy was thinking about walking towards Closer and breaking his face. Decides that he does not want to do that. It's the name of the ability, by the way, guys, if you're not too versed in set. I wasn't actually going to like that. It sounded a little morbid, didn't it?
It sounds pretty violent. There are some violent ability names. You know?
Yeah. One of them did get changed.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because then it brings into question all of the other ones. You know, like if one of them had to be changed, like what are we doing here?
And also there's a newer one, which is arguably more violent.
Yeah, the public execution.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're saying, oh, we're publicly executing our tax deductions. You know, like maybe that's what they're talking about, and you can get away with it that way.
A bro tax reference?
Yeah, there we go. Got to keep it relevant here, Ox. As the Dragon going to be taken here by the Bros. That is the second one. It is an infernal soul this game as well.
Big.
Oh man, it feels really good to be a Bro fan here right now. Keep that influx of tax going, please.
I mean, you say it feels really good to be a bro fan right now. It always feels good to be a bro fan.
All right. It feels extra good to be a Bro fan.
Thank you. I appreciate the correction.
Yeah, no, I really should have known better, to be honest. As Chovy hits level 11, that is going to be suplex level 2. Feeling good about having that, but not feeling good about the game state. 800 gold, the disadvantage for Gen.G. Feels like a whole lot more, especially when you don't have the dragons backing you up as well. Oftentimes, early game compositions can rely on getting a soul to give them that extra power, allow their composition to get over the line. This will be a hard composition to get through, especially with Lethality Varus, but maybe it won't be because it's Rumble and it's Yone. They don't really worry.
Have a lot of DPS overall. Now they are going the Herald. Will we see bro contest?
Well, they are moving over. Teleport is going to bring them in as Closer off to the side. There's a heroic charge as a big shield from Duro, and the equalizer, fantastic once again, right on top of Chovy, but he just walks his way out, and now Keen continuing to fight here. The dive forward from Duro, he gets a big heal from that Primal Surge, but it's a 1-for-1 in the end as the re-engage comes through the face breaker, the haymaker, it's Chovy all over again, and the Bro Tax ain't enough to save them in that fight.
Gen.G's team fighting so crisp, so clean, and the Bros get baited in, ain't able to clean up there. Now, Mystic Shot doesn't connect. Herald comes through. I thought Canyon was going to chase after him.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, that's not the driving I was expecting. No. Never mind. It's okay. I think Ruler really wanted that blue buff. I think that's what it was.
And now we see, you know, it just seems mirrored, Chovy and Keen, both these just melee champions being on the towers, but the problem is they focus quite a lot into Duro here, and this kind of meant Chovy was free to have so much value. He drags Polo into the team.
Suplex.
Massive slam, massive amount of damage. Immediately, Crocker went hyper low. Oh, Ruler?
Oh, in the Ruler spot. Well, there is your Bro Tax at work, ladies and gentlemen. Grabbing a kill onto Ruler here.
Keep it rolling. We need those funds.
Yep. That's exactly right. I don't see very much purple in the chat at this point in time. Thankfully, they did have enough to convince Ruler to overextend a little bit in this mid lane. But yeah, Chovy finding that angle in that last fight as we're going to have a look at this once again. This was how Ruler did die.
I'm assuming he wanted to kill Hype.
Arcane shift forward situation. At least he denies Hype from getting the kill. There is that.
A little bit unfortunate Hype wasn't able to get that. Would have been nice to get that influx of gold, but yeah, certainly one of those moments.
Yeah, bit of a Ruler.
You know, we've all made plays like that on Ezreal.
We absolutely have. Ruler gets away with it in pro for his entire career, though. That's the impressive part.
Yeah. And now look, this is a difficult dive to pull off.
It is. Chovy holding onto his buttons here, and that is very important.
You know what? Sometimes your Bro Tax pays for play. Sometimes your Bro Tax pays for play not to happen. that's what happened right there.
That's it.
They just walked away.
I'm looking at the chat. It's pretty purple right now. That actually that saved the three of them's lives.
Yeah, they would have done it. That would have been a Chovy triple kill, and you know that's what would have happened. So.
It's like you're watching your favorite streamer and you get to do the voice, the text-to-speech, which just says, "Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it." And then they listen.
It's too real.
Yep. That's precisely what happened. All right, traps being set up around Canyon's jungle here as the position in this game for Gen.G is looking better, but I think they're going to have to augment this with a teamfight win around an objective. You know, lock down this next dragon in 30 seconds time. It's likely going to be a very important one, as Keen is very hard to kill with magic damage. Just want to say that.
That Blade of the Rune King going to help. Unfortunately, Hype didn't get that earlier gold influx for the Ruler shutdown. Doesn't have his mana immune yet, but neither does Ruler. 15 seconds for the next dragon. This will be feats of strength, and if Bro get it, it will put them on soul point.
Oh my goodness. It's feats of strength for both teams.
Yep.
Whoever picks this up, it's very, very important. On top of it, like, Gen.G needs to deny soul point right now. If that doesn't happen, I feel like the Bros just have such a long leash in this game.
I honestly think they won't, but I honestly think Bro could afford to let this one go.
They could. It is a huge boon for them, but it's more important that Gen.G deny it.
Yeah. It's just that I feel like the game's in a delicate spot at the moment.
But if you take your foot off the gas,
it looks like
okay,
it's
just gone.
They're letting it go. I honestly, I think this might be the right call. I think pushing into an area where you don't have vision, there's a lot that could backfire. And I think it's just taking the time to scale up. They know their team fighting is going to be stronger later. I think that was a smart call to make.
Yeah.
And a hard call to make. It's not easy to say, hey, like, let's just not fight this.
I'm going to be pretty bothered if Gen.G win this game with this composition. I love it, right? Like, I've seen them play this style of comp before, and it's fun to watch, but the Bros comp is so good, and it's so good into exactly what Gen.G has.
Yeah.
They should not be able to get away with this.
They are Gen.G, though.
And that's why we require your bro tax.
Yep.
Because otherwise, they could get away with this. And in fact, even with all the bro tax in the world, they may not. Oh, golly gee. Ruler in this mid lane will be able to defend the outer turret once again. Morgan down towards the bottom side. He's going to try and get a little bit of tempo here by pushing out that bot lane. Teleports at the ready for everyone.
Oh, both AD carries recalled at the same time and got their upgraded mirror mana, so big spikes coming in. And Arakan on the top side of the map, so that's going to be a focal point, at least until the next dragon spawns.
Yeah, Morgan actually finding Keen here. Keen does not care. He built items to kill this one guy. Well, to not die to this one guy. And so this one guy is probably not going to be able to kill him.
Yeah, biggest lead in favor of Keen, so...
Yeah, it's actually kind of nuts.
I even got a second item finished.
Ooh. Well, another arcane shift forward. This time there's no one waiting in the wings to try and take him down. And in fact, it's Ruler that has the friends. All right, can they stand away from these spears? You know, that's the big question. As Hype not able to dodge the Mystic Shot, but I think the spear would have hurt more. So as far as pick your poison is concerned, he won that battle.
The problem though, Gen.G, if they get control and start to land this poke, now Hype in a position where it's like, well, does he have to recall all that health? Are we going to lose control of Arakan? The vision control heavily favors Gen.G. And even if you land an arrow from Varus, it can just be healed up by Nidalee.
Yeah. It's poke and counter poke as Chains of Corruption just picks the gap. And this tower is very not long for this world. Keen able to get out of there as once again Duro going in the Magnet Storm to save his top laner's life, but maybe not his own. As Chovy going to separate Croco, just utilizes the showstopper, takes out the jungler, and maybe it's time for an Arakan, but 1-for-1 trade, perhaps it's just not enough.
No, TP's coming in. Looks like they're committing to it.
It is enough.
And Bro not going to be able to move over there in time, it seems. So Arakan going to be secured by Gen.G. They got what they wanted out of the play. Slow and calculated. They find the advantage, taking out Croco. Oh, that's just...
Oh, man. The side step, really nice.
That's just rude.
Yeah, and that cancels the back, so no one's... they're definitely not going to contest. So let's have a look at this one more time.
So ult, unfortunately, doesn't connect there.
That's actually 6 points. There were 4 posts. That's like AFL.
They land a CC chain on a Keen, but just not quite enough damage from Closer to finish him off. And then Duro goes down, but Croco has to commit so heavily for it. When Chovy comes in, it's just an easy grab and finish. If Keen had died there, they wouldn't be able to just TP him in and go for the Arakan. So Big boon there for Gen.G. They're now 3,000 gold ahead.
And they get the dragon as well previously, so they can start stacking it up in a minute and a half's time, utilizing that extra money and extra stats and experience, things like this from that Otacon.
Yeah.
Big deal. And despite the fact that we were saying like Gen.G didn't manage to get like a big enough lead early on, things like this, Canyon is still 100% kill contribution, hasn't died, 2 items now completed on the Nidalee. Is there anything that you really can do to stop him from just being valuable on this champion? Isn't this champion supposed to get less valuable as the game goes on? I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
He's doing more now.
He is doing a lot.
All right, well, I don't think I'm going to have that one in.
I think
it's more of a
way
rhetorical.
They're playing around vision, harassing with the poke, and also denying the poke from the Varus. Just healing through anything Hype throws at them.
Yeah.
Really frustrating, and they have control over this area. The vision control they have, if you look towards the dragon, just choking Bro out of the map.
And the Keen Sante. It's doing it. This is probably the top lane pick that we groan about the most here in the LCK at the moment, which is kind of weird because we used to groan about it for a different reason, which was because it was way too overpowered. Now, hasn't been able to string more than a couple of wins together here in the LCK. Hasn't been looking that good. Keen in this game, though, able to play that front line quite effectively, and the Chovy set, oh my god, the hubris on this man is absurd.
The Overlord's Bloodmail, maximizing the Haymaker damage.
Yeah.
Croco is collecting cinders, I guess, is the game plan.
Huh. All right, well, it's going to be a lot of fun seeing whether the Bros can get themselves in position around this Baron. You can see for now, we're actually looking pretty good. Lots of pings coming out from Gen.G, though. They know what's going on. Brodu back away. Chovy clearing our vision once again. He did get into a bit of trouble around that particular ward in the past. Not quite going to work out as Hype does. Find a piercing arrow onto Chovy. Chovy shrugs it off entirely. Health regen pretty good for a good old set, just in general. Was able to walk it off. And the smallest lead in this game is, in fact, Chovy. So Closer might have to be the difference maker in some of these fights.
Does have a lot of farm. 2-level lead for Canyon, who has a 50 CS lead in the jungle. Yeah, that is what Nidalee does.
That's a thanks Otacon situation there a little bit, but as well as the fact that he's just been farming pretty consistently in this game. Chovy punches the minion wave and will be able to just back away. Croco moving down towards the bottom side, not able to get too much else done. The outer turret still stands. 3 turrets to 1 is a decent representation of where the gold advantage is. The gold advantage is still not very large at all. The Drakes have been equalized. Otacon is going to swing things in favor of Gen.G just a little bit.
Still very playable.
It is. Your bro tax can still make a difference.
Croco did just spend his bro tax on a Zeke's conversions, though.
Huh. Well, sometimes you just want to Zekely converge.
Thanks, Zeke.
That's all I've really got for you.
Oh.
Barrage going to hit Hype.
Is that enough to, like, I'm not even kidding, like, for them to stop threatening Baron, just having Hype that low? Because he has to recall now.
And also there's, okay,
yeah, that is
Canyon says
enough.
Yes. He's already on top of it. Keen gonna move over. Ruler also gonna get on in there. Croco is in position, but Duro, he can certainly stop this Sejuani from getting in. But he is able to just walk on over. Doesn't have a whole lot of friends in the vicinity, and look at this, there are wards everywhere for Gen.G. Closer looking to get in, unbinds the soul pretty early on, and the Baron down to 5k. Croco could possibly get in here as Polu's going to evict Ruler. That is a lot of the damage now missing from the fight, but the 3-man queue comes through from Keen. He goes all out, tries to get into that backline as he does die, but it allows Ruler to get back into the fight. And now Chovy, it's his turn to frontline, but they chain CC him. They destroy him, and it's Hype that picks up a triple. Is it a pentarangle? That's the question. The answer is, do they even survive against Canyon? He really wanted that one. The Mystic Shot, though, is what cuts down Closer. And these health bars are too low. Ruler is hiding them out, but it's Hype that finds the arrow. And Canyon, he will be able to stop them from getting over here because they have about 100 health collectively. Still, that is a bro team fight win. Thank you for the bro tax.
It's paying off. They're still in it, able to find the fight here. And Gen.G turn up the Baron, trying to find the fight. Initially, the engage comes in onto Hype, but the follow-up isn't quite there. This ult from Polu knocking Ruler away, so much value. Canyon actually pulls away towards the top side of the map, and the CC that comes down locks up Keen. We see them also turning onto Chovy, this melee blender composition working so well to deal with these threats. And it gets a little bit scary here. Low health bars into Ezreal Nidalee is not a fun time. But fortunately, they're able to pull away. And then this arrow from Hype, he flashes the spear here, goes out of vision, and then snipes Ruler.
Oh, man. Through the trees. I didn't see it, and he was just dead. And I think that was probably something that Ruler can relate to. Now, a fight around this next Infernal Dragon, but not before. This outer turret does go down in the mid lane. They've been working on that for quite some time.
5-0-5 on Hype, by the way.
Hype is a monster. The power of KT towards the end of the season, right? Remember, that's where he's been loaned from.
Oh,
it was,
the power
you know what?
of KT and Bro combined.
Exactly. And remember, like, this is a loan, right? This is OK Savings Bank BRION, and your bro tax is paying for this right now. Do you think Hype would be here? Did you see the previous game? It was Bull that was playing. There was not enough bro tax to even afford Hype in the first series this week.
They had to allocate the funds.
They did. And look at how much better they look. I'm not even kidding. I think Hype looks reinvigorated moving back onto the roster here.
4 full items now with the Serelda's picked up, so he is doing damage. And there's not that much armor across the board from Gen.G anyway. Like the Thornmill is coming for Keen with the Unending. There's the Zhonya's from Canyon, but
another just give Dragon?
I don't think this is the right call. I think, you know, give Dragon 1, okay. Give Dragon 2, give Dragon 3.
Maybe not when it's a triple stack Infernal as well. That is feeling worries.
There is something worse than give Dragon 3.
Give Dragon 5?
Yes, and give Dragon 4. So let's, you know what? Let's hope they don't do that again.
Yeah. We can possibly figure that out. Stacking on top of each other into Chovy is scary, guys. Don't do that.
Need some more bro tax if you want the next
Yes.
Dragon. That is for sure.
Yeah. We'll double check on that. There is some more purple. There's a knock up on a Chovy. Your money at work immediately. But the Haymaker! Oh my god, that did so much! That Blood Mail, man, that really does work with this set. My god.
Yeah, he gets low.
We never see that item, but when it works, it really works.
It is the set item.
It is.
It is literally set the item.
I play other games where you have like signature items for characters. I didn't know we had them in League of Legends, but apparently we do.
Croco, Krugs, not that important. They were on a control ward as well.
And we didn't even see whether he got the Krugs.
Guys, it's just the lack. He felt like he had to do Krugs because of the bro tax.
Yeah.
The lack of it.
Yeah, he needed the money. He couldn't afford the next item. The Baron is just gone as a result. And bro, can they corral them? Can they kill some of these Barons? Slow down Gen.G. Oh, Chovy thinks that maybe he's going to kill them. Canyon chasing after them as well, spears in hand. Chovy just going to walk it off though. Hail of Arrows going to work there as True Shot Barrage focused on the wave. And Bro don't lose anyone, but they do lose the Baron and the Dragon, and they haven't really been able to fight for any objectives for the last 15 minutes.
They're just saving up for the next objective.
And they have to save up. There's not enough time. Oh no, we need to stop it.
Oh!
As Lowe's is going to try and ult his way out. That was such a weird interaction.
Yeah,
At least he ate the showstopper.
Chovy just grabbed air.
Yeah. Slam dunk.
Well, ult down from both parties there. Bro looking for an angle here though.
Yeah, Croco.
I feel like they can go for something maybe, but they'll just be happy warding them away. Once again, it's about 3,000 gold lead. It's not insurmountable, but it is still advantage to Gen.G. They have the feats of strength, they have the Arakan, they have those 3 Infernal Dragons. It's in favor for them, but this game is still very winnable for Bro.
Chovy is like, he's gone to the thrift store, man. He's got all of the vintage items. It's so cool.
They are very cool items.
I felt like it's time for like more Warmogs to be built, just with the amount of like skirmishing going low and then needing to reset that's been happening. And Chovy's just going to go and build it. Of course, lots of health scaling and stuff like that for this set. will make him just feel a whole lot better. But it's just cool seeing these items utilized, as Gen.G will be able to get the shove, take down this inner turret in the mid lane there. Playing this 4-1 actually kind of beautifully. It was the 4-stack on the top side of the map with Keen in mid. Now they've moved Chovy towards the bottom side as Canyon needs to go golden. He will, as there's the Magnus Storm as well. The Superplex to bring out Morgan, but the Keeper's Verdict gets rid of the set. How is Canyon alive? Why? What? How did you? What? It's not allowed. Morgan now is just going to get punched by Chovy 3 times and he's dead. This is not fair. We paid out bro tax. They were supposed to survive. How are 3 dead and Canyon's still alive?
Now Gen.G looking to push for the end.
I agree with you, Digon. That was BS. That was not fair.
So much was spent. So much was spent on this game. I don't know if we can recover.
I don't think so. First Nexus turret gonna go down. The Haymaker's doing so much damage as the Keen Sante is going all out as they look for the last remaining kill. There it is. Kill comes through. That is the ace. 0-0-10 for Canyon on this Nidalee as they destroy the Nexus. 1 away from the perfect season here for Gen.G.
Yeah.